let's add a subdivision modifier. So we have the cube selected, go to the modifiers, it's the blue wrench, add modifier, we go down underneath generate, all the way down here, it's subdivision surface. We're going to click on it, and we can see if we zoom in, it turn it more into a sphere. So from a cube to a sphere. Now that's what's really cool about subdivision is it kind of smooths it out, and that's why it's very crucial that we have it as rectangles. So you can see that these are all rectangles. And the only reason why it's able to smooth it out is because we have it as a rectangle, as a loop. And so then with the subdivision logic, it can smooth it out. So over here in the subdivision, we have the viewport and render. So viewport is what we're currently seeing. So we could just turn this off by turning it to 0. We can turn it to 1, change it to 2, change it to 3, and so forth. Now for render, that's what's going to be the final image. So when we actually click render and save this as an image, this will be the subdivision surface. So the reason why we have two different ones is, for example, let's say viewport, we only have one. It gives us a rough estimate, a rough idea of what's going to look like. But for render, let's have it at 3. And remember, when we had it at 3, it's all nice and smooth. So let's go back to 1. So when it renders it out, it'll be at 3 instead of 1. The reason for this is for like animation and stuff. It's to not overload your viewport because there's only so much you can do. So it's more of like to just edit and stuff. So it doesn't take too much space because if your Blender is very laggy when you're trying to do animations and stuff, it's really hard to work with it. So that's what's really cool about this. So we can have the viewport as low, and then when we actually render it out, save it as an image, we can have it high. Now over here, we also have simple. So right now we have it as a Clark. So Clark is what makes it smooth. Now simple, it looks like just the cube. But what's actually going on is actually subdividing it without smoothing it. So this is great for, let's say, a cloth. If you were making a cloth simulation, you would actually do a simple subdivision. So that way you could actually bend and stuff. Because a cloth, you don't need to smooth it out. It could be just a plane. But for a Clark, let's say if we were making a human, we need to make it smooth. So that is the subdivision. And just like before, we have this little arrow right here. If we click on it, we can apply it. So if I click apply, now if I go to edit mode, keyboard shortcut is tab on your keyboard. We can see you did that. Let's just undo this real quick. Now let's do simple. Go here, apply, go to edit mode. You can see it divided it this way.